Hello, I'm Trevor Greene, the proud superintendent of the Yakima School District, and with me today I have a wonderful leader here in our district from Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary. Please introduce yourself.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Syd John, and I'm the assistant principal at Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary in the Yakima School District.
And I understand that today, actually this week, we're leading into graduation. We have a couple this week and a couple next week, but you actually had students that came from the high schools to walk through your elementary today. What was that like?
Oh my gosh, what a great celebration. We had Davis graduates attend our school today, and we had about 25, and what a just important message. They came and they celebrated the success they had in the K-12 Yakima school system, but also our students were able to see them in their cap and gown. I saw just smiley faces all over. I don't think I saw one frown face from student, staff, or graduates. It was just a great experience overall.
I was able to attend a couple of those parades, if you will, and it was just inspiring to see how excited the students at the elementary were, but also to see the smiles on the graduates' faces in recognizing teachers, staff, principals that they had come in contact with during their career early on, and the hugs. So it's just a wonderful tradition that we're starting in going back to the school that you started in as a graduate from the Yakima system. The other exciting thing that we have happening this week is that we are recognizing Treaty Days as something that is of paramount importance to us here in the Yakima School District in the relationship that we have with the Yakama Nation. So we are the Yakima School District, YAKIMA, but we are right next door to the Yakama Nation, YAKAMA, and you are a member of the Yakima tribe, correct?
Yes, I'm Yakima Walla Walla.
Yeah, Yakima and Walla Walla. And as a leader here in our district, one of the things that we may hear is, well, why are you not teaching about the Yakima Nation, or what about this day? How does this really intersect with what we do as the district? We should be teaching kids about this and not taking a day off. What would your response be about what is happening in our schools to educate our students about our relationship with the Yakima Nation?
Well, I would say it is a historic day in the valley, and it's the 1855 signing of the Treaty of the Yakima Nation marks 167 years, and that is historic history. And yeah, many people might think we're taking the day off, but learning is always taking place. The Yakima Nation does an outstanding job of hosting a variety of activities, and they have just a wonderful museum down there to showcase the culture and the history of the Yakima Nation. So to me, what a better time to take the day off, head down to the tribal headquarters in Topness, Washington, take in the parade that's going to happen tomorrow at 10. There's going to be a powwow this weekend. They had a variety of activities last week in a basketball tournament, golf tournament, and just a great way to celebrate Treaty Day.
And I think, I myself am Muskogee Creek, so identify as a native male. And even though I'm not Yakima, having this celebration and acknowledging our neighbors just to the south as a sovereign nation is something that is really wonderful and that we can use to educate ourselves, but also our children about what it means to be a sovereign nation and what it is to govern yourself. And when we talk about the Treaty of 1855, that actually was a moment where the tribe handed over the ceded land, so to speak. I believe it's around 11.5 million acres. And at one point, we're talking about the Yakama Nation having a territory of the bands and tribes of what is now the Yakama Nation, having a territory over about the quarter of the size of Washington State. And in exchange for that was then the bringing together of the 14 confederated tribes and bands of the Yakama Nation, and also establishing the right to govern themselves as a tribal nation.
Yes, you're correct, Dr. Greene. Nice thing about history is that 12 million acres, and it reached from the borders of Canada down to south of the Columbia River. A good stretch of land. The ceded land, which now the Yakima Nation encompasses 1.2 million acres, so that's the reservation set boundaries as now. And one of the things about growing up on the Yakima reservations, we were taught this at a young age through family and schools, but really what it is I want to speak to Article 3 of the 11 Articles of the Treaty of 1855, which speaks to we were able to hunt, fish, and gather foods, traditional foods, and that's so important in our Native American history, no matter where you're at. But those first foods are so important for our survival. We survived for thousands of years, and we want to continue to survive for 1,000 more years, if not longer.
What I love about the acknowledgement of Treaty Days by the Yakima School District, in conjunction with the Yakima Education Association and our administration and our school board, obviously approving that celebration, is that we are recognizing the culture and what it means for our students who are Yakama. And we represent a variety of tribes, but we also represent students specifically from the Yakama Nation. And it doesn't then become a selection for them of, do I have to go to school, or do I put aside what my culture is, what I believe in, this biggest celebration that we have in the Yakama Nation, so that I go to school on a Friday, or do I participate and expand my knowledge of my own nation and educate those around me as well. So that opportunity is phenomenal, because we're not asking students to choose. We're acknowledging them for who they are and who they, how they're situated and what they represent in the world. And if we can't see people for who they are, if we can't recognize their culture, then we're really not recognizing the individual, because we're putting them into a box of what we think they should be. What are your final thoughts in talking about this day and what it means for us here in the Yakima School District?
Well, I first of all, I just want to thank the partnership that you have forged with the Yakima Nation. Yakima School District is a huge entity. The Yakima Nation is a huge entity. It's been once said, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, let's expand our resources, because a lot of these children we share, whether they transfer or we also have them in our district. But let's embrace that opportunity for our students to take part in Treaty Day. But also, I just appreciate Dr. Greene having a positive relationship with the tribal members. It just means so much to have that talk with our Native students and the families, and the respect. I really believe this comes down to respect, which is one of our sacred rules in the Yakima School District. So I really appreciate that. But yes, I think it's important that our students take that day to go and be with their families and learn more about their culture. And I think Yakima School District has really forged that inclusionary practice. And this is one great example of doing that.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to be with us today and sharing a bit of your culture and what it means to be Yakima in the Yakima School District. And we look forward to seeing all of you out there at graduation that starts this week and goes into next week. We're excited about our graduates. We're excited about this year wrapping up, and look forward to the learning that will take place at home with you as the first teacher, which you are, as friends and family, to make sure that everybody remains learning during that time period over summer. So thank you, and we'll see you soon.